But this is more than a simple story about pipelines and borders. This is a story about power, politics, and survival in what may be the most tumultuous region of the planet. Iran and Israel were partners in a pipeline from Israel through Iran, a pipeline that carried Israeli oil to Europe. It's a strain. The partners from the Iran-Israel pipeline in the 1970s became strange, but as Iran and Israel would later go on to be major foes with a hatred for. In Iran's case, this hatred stems from Iran's revolution in 1979, which overthrew Iran's ruler, known as a Shah. After this revolution, Iran shut down diplomatic relations with Israel, became a vocal supporter for Palestine, and arguably became the terrorist organization Hamas sponsor through a proxy relationship. For Israel, this hatred, therefore, begins with a proxy relationship formed with Iran as a sponsor for terrorist organization Hezbollah, in an attempt to counter Iran's role as a proxy sponsor for terrorist organizations. In fast-forwarding through history, Iran's actions as a sponsor for various terrorist organizations, such as Hezbollah and Hamas, as a proxy for Iran, contributed significantly to Israel's hatred for Iran. Another important development, which occurred in October 20, was an attack carried out by the Israeli terrorist organization, Hamas, against Israel, reigniting the conflict and further bringing Iran into the limelight. Today, this conflict is more than just a case study reflecting hatred. It's a conflict for territory, for superiority, and for global power. Historical context: from cooperation to conflict during the 1970s. The Iranian and Israeli governments worked together on a project for an oil pipeline connecting Israel to the European mainland. After the Iranian Islamic Revolution in 1979, all this changed. The Iranian Islamic regime did not, and still does not, recognize the Israeli regime, as they consider the Israeli regime to be part of the West in the Middle East. Since then, the ideological aspect of anti-Israel has dominated the relationship. Iranian proxies and influence in the region. Iran has proxies in the Middle East, such as Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, Islamic Jihad, PMF in Iraq, and Houthis in Yemen. These proxies are used by Iran to deliver its anti-Israel rhetoric, while Iran has a cover of deniability. Iran's proxies place Iran in a position of defending Palestinian Arabs and a major Middle Eastern power, countering both Israel and other Middle Eastern powers, such as the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Israel's preemptive strategy: Israel battles Iranian influence through intelligence agencies, airstrikes, and cyber attacks. Syrian and Sudanese stations have been attacked to thwart Iran's transfer of armaments to Hamas and Hezbollah terrorist groups. Israel is also believed to target Iranian nuclear scientists to retard Iran's nuclear plans. Israel has a strategic alliance with America and Muslim-majority countries that bolster its power against terrorist groups like Hamas and Hezbollah. International press response to media theories confront Iran's nuclear plans have been one of the biggest threats to Israel in the world. Although Iran insists that its plans have nothing to do with warfare, global nations seem to be skeptical about Iranian assurance of its peaceful plans. Being a powerful state in the region, and global diplomacy is dependent on Iran's nuclear plans. Recent escalation in proxy wars. Conflict was also reignited in October 2023 when Hamas launched an attack in Israel. There have been missile and naval attacks launched by Iranian proxies in Hezbollah and Houthis. Alongside Israeli strikes on Gaza and Lebanon, U.S. military assets have been positioned to avoid escalation. Conflict is still an issue and represents the complex interplay of politics and geography being seen in the Middle East. The Iran-Israel conflict is far from over, and this battle, ranging from the pipelines of the past, the missiles of the present, to the proxies of the future, is changing the face of the Middle East, and the world is watching with keen interest. While the Iranian regime uses ideology and proxies, the Israelis are using intelligence, alliances, and military muscles. The stakes are high, as the obvious line dividing the power struggle, the region's influence, and the security of the world is thin indeed. As this saga is still being played out, it is relevant to recall once again the complex web of relationships between history, politics, and strategic action relations, as the choices of the present are likely to have implications for generations to come. If you see the value and significance of this video on understanding the global conflicts, then please do like, share, and express your comments in the comments column below. If you would like to receive the latest developments on the significant global conflict explained in a simplified way, then do hit the subscribe button on this channel and turn on the notifications to alert you of the latest developments.